Mission 3, Fast Lane. Welcome to Purley. Maintenance further up the line means we'll be routed onto the fast lines at Selhurst, where we'll perform our scheduled stops on the fast line platforms. So hey there, Drawyah here, welcome back to Dovetail Games Trains to Miles 2, welcome back to Rush Hour, and welcome back to London Commuter. Today we find ourselves in a Southern 377 at Purley. And today we find ourselves on the service into London Victoria, just not kind of outside London. We're within London at this point, so we're doing an all-station stopper into Victoria, but because of maintenance we are going to be on the fast lines and therefore potentially reduce platforms, but high top speeds to get there. So train's been set up, we're ready to go in a couple of minutes, although we'll set the AWS, and yeah, it should hopefully be a rather good service overall. So when it is now just past 6:30, confirm my clock on the top left as well as the clock on the display on the left hand side there. Destination London Victoria, or an 8-car train sets. And so we'll be able to get ourselves hopefully onto a on-time departure shortly. There's no time yet to leave, but we'll close the doors now. Signal's green, so I can only presume that we are ready to go. As soon as ready to go, set the throttle. Next station, Purley Oaks. So it's a nice slow crawl out of the station, 20 miles per hour. Get onto the main line up to 60. Enter our service pattern. Stopping at Purley Oaks, South Croydon, East Croydon, Selhurst, Thornton Heath, Norbury, Strathspey Common, Balham, Wandsworth Common, Clapham Junction, Battersea Park, and London Victoria, where the train terminates. About 40 odd minutes of driving today. Again, not a crazy long scenario, but one that we need to just pay extra special attention with in our driving today. Right, up to 60 miles per hour. Well, line speed up to 60. I doubt we'll get that close, given that we're only about 100 yards or so now from the station. And hopefully the scenario, given the timing at 6:30, we're kind of towards the latter end of rush hour in real life. And therefore, hopefully, we'll see some busier platforms. The one thing don't forget with Trains to World's rush hour is the increased passenger numbers. Again, still a bit limited on console because of, well, by limitation, but on PC, don't forget expanded numbers, and hopefully, we'll be able to see some of this in action today. Especially as pass through, whoops, keep getting that emergency brake. Especially as pass through East Croydon, which is definitely one of the biggest stations. Definitely one of the biggest stations on this route. Yeah, we'll adjust our position on the platform slightly. Let the brakes release. And just go up to the 8-car marker. We got about a minute and a half. Yeah, so hopefully get to see some increased passenger numbers and busier platforms, especially on this part of the routes. Doors unlocked. Let's get people moving. Definitely lose some accuracy points with the first emergency brake application there, but as long as we're on the platform, that's the main thing that matters. Yeah, nice and snug, eh? Nice and snug. So, we depart 18:35. Currently on time departure. Watch the clock, about 20 seconds left to go before we depart. And another skill we've got to learn with some of this route as well is that with newer routes, the yellow marker will continue even when doors are closing. In previous routes, that would end the moment you press the door button. But now, because passengers still move and doors opening and closing, that's been changed. So you can get the right time on the ticker, means you can get yourself a slightly swifter departure route. But it all very much depends on the speed of passengers boarding and disembarking, and how well you can time it. Switch the line speed 2 seconds before I go too fast. Next station, South Croydon. And from South Croydon up to East Croydon. Cut off the power now, let the train coast on its own. We're on a 0.4% downhill gradient up until we get to the mouth, well, the mouth essentially of East Croydon. So when the points and junction work is outside the station front, that's when line levels off, and therefore whatever speed we enter that at, we'll generally leave at as well, because there'll be no power, and therefore we can't really do much in the way of accelerating and braking on that short section. Got a Gatwick tire left there. Now stopping at South Croydon. Perfect. Doors released. Still got head outside, just keeping on the passenger movements. So far so good. You can just see the Gatwick Express just went out of the corner now, that's out of view. Bar a few passengers, well, one passenger behind the yellow line. There's no more movements, people getting on and off the train, so as soon as we close the doors, go straight onto that and make a departure route. Got 30 seconds for depart. Next station is East Croydon. And East Croydon being the I won't call it the bottleneck of the system, but it's definitely, like I say, the big congregating points, different lines. You do want to kind of get yourself in on time, so you can also leave on time as well. Perfect. Just close the window. And let's depart. We have 0.8 miles to travel to East Croydon. Minutes and a half to do so. We just can do at least 40 miles per hour to make sure we get there on time today. Actually, not even that. It's more like 20 miles per hour to get there on time. So it's all about getting in early. So far, that's looking spot on. So like I say, the line stays at 0.4% gradient downhill just until we get to the set points just hit. Make sure we stand for that as well. And it's about now, most of the track starts to level off again. There we go. Having a further look at it from last time passed through East Croydon, there's actually no 8-car stop marker at the station, so we do stop where it essentially would be in real life. Rather, it jumps from 6-car up to the full 10 and 12-car sets, because it's a bit of a mix. Being a Thameslink station as well as a Southern, it's not so much 8-car, 12-car sets, but rather FLU and RLU, so you have in Thameslink a 4-length unit, which is 12 cars, and a reduced length unit, which is 8 cars. And that's how Thameslink manage their stop markers. So if you have a look at the stations, there'll be a little diamond. If it says FLU, it means it's a 4-length unit, and therefore a 12-car train stops there. If it says RLU, reduced length unit, that means that's where the 8-car trains will stop at. So a little bit of a bit of Thameslink knowledge for you, I guess. East Croydon, last time I passed through here was a couple of weeks ago, actually, on Sunday last shift for work. Changed trains from Brighton into... Well, changed from... travelling from Brighton to Victoria. So here, made a change from a Thameslink train onto a Southern train. And actually, I believe it was platforms... These platforms here. Platforms 1... enters platform 2, left on platform 1. Thameslink, Southern. So we'll close the doors now. Realise I should have done that a couple seconds ago. And now, make an immediate departure out. Speed limit is 40. Right, next station, Selhurst. Selhurst, then... I'm sure it's Thornton Heath and Norbury, if I'm correct. Selhurst, Thornton Heath and Norbury, yes it is. See, I know my southern routes. Takes a bit of a reminder in the back of your mind, but I know my stations on this line. Reduce the brake slightly since, well, to be fair, we are climbing over the line now, so at this point we are still on the high speed lines, the fast lines, but still stopping every station on the way. So again, normally trains on this line will just pass as express through Selhurst and Thornton Heath. Next station generally would be Clapham Junction, I believe. And then the slow lines are the 2 tracks just left down there on the underpass. Downhill now, so just apply some braking as we approach Selhurst. Hit the major brakes again. Come on, Drawyah, you should know these trains by now. I'd much rather stop in front of the platform rather than at the platform. Right, release the brakes. Let's carry on. It's going to hurt our time slightly. Fortunately not by much. That will hurt our time slightly. Go through the measure brakes again because we got a bit too fast there. See, I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect for this. Right, welcome to Selhurst. Just about. Just about. These platforms all the way, also much shorter than that of the slow line. You can see the slow platforms extend well out beyond the fast platform location, especially platform 2. Platform 2, you need to get another carriage in there. Right, so now passengers make their movements. We're departing as soon as we're boarded. So I'm just watching the yellow circle now, waiting for that to get to that right point, which is about a centimetre off of the white train logo there. Now, perfect. Apply the throttle, or push the mouse control forward, and next station is Thornton Heath, where we have 10 seconds to travel 1 mile. Great. Selhurst's usually a pretty good station for actually catching up with time if you're running a bit late. We've annoyingly gone and scuffed that one up. Oh well, it happens. Very, 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 very rarely, but it happens. As long as we can keep the speed at the latter half of this line, we should be alright to get to Victoria within a minute or so behind the scheduled arrival time. And plus, we've also got Clapham Junction as well. Clapham Junction is another good station to catch up with, as generally your waiting time there's a bit longer than other stations. So hopefully we can use it to kind of time the laws a bit right to get ourselves on time. Alright, holding the brakes again. I'm not very good at this anymore, am I? One small error, and I'm slowly coasting past the rest. Welcome to Thornton Heath. That train's calling it Selhurst. That actually determines it's the next station. We'll now show you the parts. Our train. This is about 2,000 it's lane to go. Just here behind the train there now. Right, let's watch the circle again, wait for the passengers to finish boarding. We are a minute behind. We'll catch up with that later. Next station is Norbury. Norbury and Streatham Common. And as we enter Norbury, we'll find ourselves at about the midpoint of this scenario. Like I said, it's about 35-40 minutes to get from Peckham into Victoria. But for North Station stopper, Norbury will serve as your midpoints. Once you hit Clapham Junction, that's kind of your final stretch. You've got one more station, Battersea Park, and then you make your approach in. Start slowing down now to about 30 miles per hour. Just need to kind of re-gauge myself to make sure I'm not going to go too fast in these stations now. In fact, Norbury, we may find some mercy in the time at Norbury. So sounds 30. Bring train to a halt. I must say, out of all the stations on this route in Transition World, Norbury, well, especially the way it's kind of been built into the entry-exit paths in front, very nicely handled by Dovetail. That looks just like the real thing. Right, open doors. We'll pop out for a second while we're here. I must say, the actual walkways down to the road level down below, they do look fantastic. Just the whole way's been merged into the ground. You've got your own road down below as well, the bridge is in front. It's a simple station, Norbury. It's a very simple station, but definitely one of the best looking ones in this room. Got a few old advert boards. Currently no adverts in them at the moment. Watch the train. It's a slightly inbound curved platform, so good visibility for the driver. In reality, the 377s have cameras up there, little boxes up there, cameras, and they activates the two displays inside the cab. But since it's not a feature of Transport, at least at this point, but now we just get kind of black screens and empty duds. I can understand why the camera doesn't work in this case, because they are not easy to do, cameras and other kind of displays in different locations, because essentially what we need to do is imitate a source in into another location. They did it with the turntables on the original Soundpatch Race TSX Heavy Haul, and that ultimately leads to really, really heavy FPS loss, because essentially you're rendering two screens in one. Especially painful if you're, for example, dreaming, or if you're playing at 30 FPS, for example, you can't quite get 30 FPS in a 30 FPS monitor without it running smoothly. So as a result, it's not impossible. Though I have done it before, but it just won't work in terms of optimization. So don't say never. Never say never. It would require a bit of work from the ground up, plus upgrades to the Unreal Engine. But in the future, we could start to see something pop into light. Drawyah Select, so known to that. Star origin speed's about 30 miles per hour. And there we go, now entering Streatham Common. Interesting to see Gatwick Express stationary here. I believe they do make a few calls a day. Not often, but we'll make a few calls in a day. So once again, Streatham Common, station where we'll fit very snug on the end of the platform. Very snug on the platform. The rear door, yeah, okay, minor gap there, but not as much freedom as the slow platforms. Not as much as these. Much longer. Much longer. Gosh, look at that. It's miles out of the fast lines. And for the most part, they all in the same place as well. Right. Now just change to a dual spec, so we'll be good to go in that regards. About 30 seconds from scheduled departure. We are going to close the doors. Next station, Balham, Gateway to the south. So about 1.5 to travel, 70 mile per hour line speeds. Gatwick speed, passing around inside. So that's good. We've caught up with time, which is the big thing for me. We've caught up with time, and therefore if we keep to a steady pace, we can be forgiven for our stop at Selhurst earlier on. But once again, just stay on the controls, Drawyah. Keep your mind focused. And be prepared to stop when you need to stop. Cuts the master controller now. Let train coast on its own. Minus a couple of miles per hour. In fact, we'll start slowing down now to 30 as we approach the station. go, Balham Station, just now in front. Come on, I'm better than this. Every time I'm just hitting that emergency brake. It's silly error. That I don't need to be making. Right, we'll open doors now since brake control's not going to release anytime soon. We'll reset it while we're here at Balham. A little bit of ambience there, little person whistling on the platform. I can tell you, working in the station myself, that does happen quite frequently. As you wait for your train, got nothing else to do, get a bit of time, have a bit of whistle to yourself. Balham, gateway to the south. Now the destination board there to scroll to our information for us. Calling at Wandsworth not Central. Wandsworth Central's on the Overground. Wandsworth Common, Clapham Junction, Battersea Park, and London Victoria. Right, so we'll close the doors. Brakes released. Let's get going. Next station, Wandsworth Common. Ooh, paying no attention to speed limits there, Drawyah. Racing away on your own there. Alright, hold it at 25 miles per hour, please. Well, so we'll keep it at 30, since we're not too far from Wandsworth Common anyway. And yeah, I'm fairly sure Wandsworth Central, which is about a 10-minute walk from here, is on the London Overground network. So we'll hold the brakes. Bring our channel platform 2 to a nice safe stop. Platform 2 does mean that we are now back on the slow line again. The Gatwick on the left there, currently stationary, would be on the fast. So obviously we've passed the maintenance point now. And back to where our trains now belong. Also, we're now on the Victoria signal blocks. The C signals as opposed to TL, looking at earlier, which I believe are Thameslink signals. So, for another thing to keep an eye out for on this route, the different signal types, and see how that kind of changes throughout the route as well. Once upon a time, it would have been manned with a series of levers to pull. These days, a lot more digital, not more manual. Automatic, sorry, not more automatic. Old days are manual, new days are automatic. No, I have fried my mind, have I? That happens when you travel around a bit, see the world, see more of the UK, I guess. But hey, the Caledonian Sleeper, still a thoroughly enjoyable service. If you get a chance to ride it, take it. It's a very good service out of Penzance. Next station, Clapham Junction. And this time, speed limit is at 60 miles per hour. So we've got miles travel between two stations now. Clapham Junction, so again, a good timing point for your positions. Also, the presumably the biggest bottleneck on this service, which you probably could call a bottleneck to an extent. I mean, East Croydon's busy, but service is quite smooth. Clapham Junction, you've got to bear in mind, controlled services out of Southern and Southwest trains. So ultimately, you're managing a lot of trains over a very widespread station. Right, down to 30 now as we enter the platforms. Down to 20. And that right there, actually, we'll go back to it in a second. There's an example of a very sharp bit of points work here at is it Charlie Lima Juliet, Clapham Junction, the station code? Is it CLJ or C? We'll have to double check the station code for Clapham Junction now. I'm sure it's something like CLJ, Charlie Lima Juliet. Doors open. Let's double check the Clapham Junction station codes. It's, yeah, CLJ, Charlie Lima Juliet. But if we have a look back behind us, very sharp set of points. Just got across, well, 2 platforms worth. There's a lot to manage at the station. There's always a lot going on. Virtually every single moment. Got ourselves a Gatwick train, which I presume is just terminated there actually, given that their board is, nope, London Victoria. So they've also got one more stop to travel to. We're clear to go as soon as the boarding's finished. We're going to leave at 20 miles per hour. Closing doors. Next station, Battersea Park.
Always try to carry a bottle of water with you. If you feel faint, seek help at the next station. Do not use the emergency cord, as this may delay help reaching you.
Alright, up to 60 miles per hour, 1.2 miles to Battersea Park. You can spot the power station in the background, including red lights, which alerts passing traffic to their position. Mainly helicopter traffic, as opposed to aircraft traffic. I believe the message cranes there as well. I presume they're just not loaded in just yet, because the area itself going through a lot of renovation. I mean, of course, the Northern Light Station is one part of it, but the big project is housing, apartment blocks. As a lot of central London transforms into more of a mix of where people both will now live and work. For the last 50 odd years, it's generally been a place where business places have built up, especially within central London itself, Zone 1 central London. Not that much in the way of housing in there, so it's a bit more of a mix these days. In regards to both housing projects, whether or not they're affordable, that's another question entirely, but in a way of housing projects and workspace as well. And since COVID, a lot more people are now working from home. It's definitely more of a mix in regards to, actually, will people even work in offices that much in the future anyway? It'll be an interesting couple of months. It will be an interesting couple of months, especially in a couple of years as well, as the whole thing kind of returns to normal. As life resumes and people kind of find their own way back into life as it was, you never know. There's a lot of room for change. Now I'm fairly sure this platform isn't long enough for all 8 cars. Therefore, we're only going to release that. Nope, that wasn't it. So, actually, no, that would have been it. Selective door release as opposed to all release. So, the platform perhaps is long enough. Ooh, just about. There's Gatwick train again. Just about. In reality, I can imagine the last carriage would not have opened because, of course, the yellow marker stop then that's too narrow for trains to stop at. But I must give them credit, that is close. They've of course got the London Overground platform here at Battersea Park, which is very much just that parliamentary bit of track that connects up to the rest of the Overground network. And then the abandoned platform, made of wood, that's just here in situ. Also, it is up to date, modern, clean. It's something that they do renovate at the station just to keep it up to scratch. When I said before, I don't think it's quite this condition. Actually, yes it is. Right, close the doors. Departing in about 30 seconds. Gatwick train, I believe, is going to wait for us to pass first. So I believe that's going to, already green aspect showing. 15 seconds to go. We'll depart first, then the Gatwick, and then I'll line up from there because as I now found out. So when you look at train head codes, essentially the smaller the number, the more priority it has over a certain block. So our service is. Does it actually give us a service head code? No, it doesn't. But we'd be. Actually, I must admit, I don't even know what our head code would even be for this kind of service. Let's have a quick browse, shall we? So we started off at Peckham. No, we didn't start at Peckham. Sorry, we started at. Where did we start again? Purley. So Purley to Victoria. So 1 Romeo service, 1 Romeo. So looking for a maybe 6:30 departure. This is very likely going to be, as we start to now for the station. 1 Romeo 49. Gatwick Express services, I believe, they're not 9. It's probably they don't exist. I don't actually have anything to reference them against. Thameslink are 9 services, so 9 XXXs as a Eurostar. I believe they're 3. 3 Golf XXX, so I'd have to double check that before I confirm it. Being a 1 Golf service, we are. Sorry, 1 Romeo. We are priority. Right, make sure that we're down to below 20 miles per hour as we get over the. There we go. Set points. And also, definitely make sure we're below 20 for the Tripcock. I don't know how it simulates in Train Sim World, but certainly in Train Simulator, go too fast, it will drag the train to a halt. It does take a moment for you to catch yourself up again for movements. So nice and steady, nice and slowly, just crawl into platform 8. Sorry, platform 9 this is. Platform 8 is the last platform on the southern side, southeastern side. Crawl into platform 9, where we'll then terminate. Get a nice view from on top. Gently apply the brakes. Bring this to a halt. Perfect. Release the doors. Let's clear the train up, ready for us to end service. So, set the reverser to off. Power handle off. Reverser off. Master key off. Reset the lights. So tail lights on, headlights off. Thank you, that's all for now. Let's see how you did. Just give it a few seconds and boom. Right, yeah, once again, overall, not a bad service. You can see where we had the emergency brake initially at Selhurst, where you had that little 2 stops kind of towards the left hand side there, about a third of the way in. Apart from that, speed limit wise, we held that pretty much perfect. Apart from that, slow down towards the end there, just for Battersea Park. Now, overall, very good old route this. Level 5 on London Commuter, level 6 on the 377. Took about 40 minutes and 20 seconds, so pretty much bang on time for the service, with 13 miles driven, 56 yards walked, and 13,340 points for a gold medal on the fast lane scenario. Ran out of words there for the height there. So, that's that for today's episode. Next scenario will not be Croydon Quandary, because we did that one first, didn't we? But we'll be back in for some more Train to World action. We'll be back in for some more London Commuter. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like. Do subscribe if you haven't done so already. Thank you all very much for watching. And I'll see you again soon for some more Train to action. Take care, have a good one guys, and bye bye.